When I was in secondary school, a very smart young man once told me that there is nothing as confusing as being a Nigerian graduate freshly out of youth service. I was so confused and asked why, and he said, at that point you realize that you spent the last 4 years learning to memorize pages that will either get you an A or a B, but surely won't be enough to pay your bills. And the world would assume that you've acquired the skills to bring money into your pocket, but the sad truth is, you're not fit to step into the labor market, so you're trapped. But then I couldn't pay attention because all I could think of was to write my final exam so I can apply for JAMB and start seeking admission into a higher institution. You see, every year, over 1.6 million candidates across the country register JAMB. That includes the unfortunate ones who have spent the last 5 years writing the same exam. Not because they lack the capacity to make the cutoff mark, but the limited slots in our universities are just not enough to have their bag. Now let's do the math. 1.6 million candidates register JAMB. 15% of them apply to private institutions. The remaining 85% settle for a public one. That's about 1.36 million candidates. We have 91 public universities, 48 states and 43 federal. And if each university accommodates an average of 5,000 candidates, then altogether they have 455,000 slots. 1.36 million candidates, 455,000 slots. That means only 35% of JAMB candidates gets to attend the university every year, and the remaining 65, they can register again next year for UTME or simply settle for a polytechnic or a COE.
What?
That's not all. The lucky 35% who gets to go to church on Sunday morning to give a testimony because finally they have been offered admission after several years of frustration are saddled with the fact that 2/3 of them are forced to offer courses they never applied for. Some applied for medicine and got geology, some wanted banking and finance but instead got biology. A potential engineer is out there studying geography while a bright young man who loves mathematics is stuck with forestry. The list goes on. See, I mean no disrespect to these fields of study, but I believe it is more depressing when the right course is offered to the wrong person. But these persons cannot refuse the offer because the thought of coming back again next year to register JAMB is tougher, and their chances of getting the almighty degree get slimmer. So they have no choice but to accept what they're given and hope that one day it will help them make a living. But the sad part is, the students are stuck with a course of 4 to 5 years hoping to make sense of it, and as the years go by, their passion for learning decreases till there's nothing left of it because the courses offered to them were merely leftovers. Now I see why some students have too many carryovers. It is not because they're not smart, but they found themselves in the wrong field, so they can't put all their heart into it. Albert Einstein once said, everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. Somebody please help me understand this. How can you make someone study a course he never wanted and in the end tag him as a failure when he can't pass your common test? See, we're in a system where we value degree beyond education and learning, and we have been made to believe that we must have a certificate if we wish to grow our earnings. That's why we'll do whatever it takes just to be called a graduate and accept ridiculous courses from these universities because we're desperate. And there is this popular saying commonly used to deceive students that no be waiting you read for school, you go take work. That we have zoologists working as bank managers, vet doctors working in refineries, and a graduate of forestry working in a pharmacy.
Are you kidding me? That's the fallacy.
Please help me understand this. We spent 4 years in school,
some 5,
8 semesters,
some 10,
with over 180 tests and 95 exams, not to mention all the stressful practicals and TPs, plus the late night reading and TDBs, and then you tell me that after all the work I put in it, I might not get to work with it? Please somebody call the EFCC or ICPC because school is the biggest scam than our country's democracy. And that's the reason students don't take it seriously, because in this system, we don't go to school to get edified, but only to get certified. That's why graduates are unemployable, their productivity is deplorable, and companies are tired of training them because they're product of a failed system. A system where a graduate cannot write a formal letter, but on paper it has a second-class upper. A system where you spend 6 years studying a course meant for 4 years, and then you begin to wonder why assholes strike more often than thunder. Nigeria has a big economy and a bigger rate of poverty because our polity has made it their priority to focus on natural resources and ignore our human resources. Ignoring the fact that no country is great today who didn't refine its human resources yesterday, and the bedrock of their success is their education system. We need to go back to the drawing board and put school as the subject because our education system is more than 3% of our budget. We need to build better schools, well equipped and fully funded, so we can produce graduates in their hundreds who are trained for innovation and not just having a certificate for decoration. And if we think we can't do that, we might as well bring back our colonial masters because they left us with an authentic education system. But the school we have today is a scam.